Minister has spent $100 million on so-called safe supply. One Global News reporter went into the street to find out where all these drugs are going. While the Prime Minister has sent inflation for gas, heat, and groceries soaring, there is one product that's actually come down in price. Powerful opioid. Turns out they're being resold to other addicts in order to raise the money to buy deadly fentanyl. Will the Prime Minister cancel the dollars for drugs and instead put the resources into treatment for addicts?
A Liberal MP just called Pierre Poilievre racist for exposing the truth about Canada's failed drug program. What happened next left Parliament speechless as Poilievre unleashed a barrage of shocking statistics proving the $100 million safe supply program actually increased overdose deaths by 300%. The explosive confrontation reveals how Liberal-approved drugs meant to help addicts are being sold on the street for deadly fentanyl. Stay tuned as we break down exactly how Poilievre destroyed his opponent with cold, hard facts while she could only respond with emotional accusations and awkward silence. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
You cannot allow the Conservatives to take us back to the failed ideology of the past. Even Harper's advisor, Ben Perrin, thinks they're speaking nonsense. Mr. Speaker, we are pretty fed up with this fight against evidence-based programs that actually are saving lives. So just stop it and save lives.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
You won't believe what unfolded in the House of Commons yesterday. A Liberal MP completely lost it when Pierre Poilievre dared to challenge their failing drug policies. What should have been a factual debate about addiction treatment quickly spiraled into an absolute spectacle when the desperate MP resorted to the oldest trick in the Liberal playbook: playing the race card.
In the downtown east side of Vancouver, where after this Prime Minister spent $100 million handing out free drugs to addicts, he has led to a 300% increase in overdoses. No common sense. The evidence is seen in the tragic faces of addicts who lie overdosed on the pavement. Will he stop giving dollars for drugs and instead follow my common sense plan to put the resources into treatment and recovery to bring our loved ones home drug-free?
Poilievre was simply presenting cold, hard data about the catastrophic failure of the government's addiction approach when the Liberal MP erupted with baseless accusations. Instead of addressing the shocking 300% spike in overdose deaths under their watch, this MP tried to label Poilievre's legitimate criticism as somehow racist and harmful. It was a disgraceful attempt to silence the opposition with fake moral outrage. You could practically see the panic in the Liberal MP's eyes as they realized their emotional outburst wasn't landing. Their face turned bright red, not from passion, but from the embarrassment of having their desperate diversion tactic exposed for all of Parliament to witness. Meanwhile, Poilievre remained the picture of composure, refusing to be baited by these ridiculous accusations. The Liberal MP's meltdown only highlighted the stark contrast between the two approaches. On one side, Poilievre armed with facts, statistics, and genuine concern for Canadians suffering from addiction. On the other, a flustered Liberal desperately trying to avoid accountability for their failed policies by hurling inflammatory accusations. Other MPs couldn't hide their reactions, visibly shaking their heads at the Liberals' transparent attempt to derail the conversation. Everyone in that chamber knew exactly what was happening.
I want him to speak to the parents of the people that would have been lost if there weren't safe consumption sites and safer supply. This is ridiculous. 46,000 overdoses have been reversed in safe consumption sites. That member says that he will stop that.
A politician with no defense for their failed policies trying to use false claims of racism to shut down legitimate debate. The turning point came when Poilievre calmly turned the tables. Instead of getting dragged into a pointless argument about the baseless accusations, he simply asked the MP to explain why overdose deaths had tripled under their watch. The silence that followed was deafening. The Liberal MP had nothing, absolutely nothing, to counter the devastating reality of their policies. In just 2 minutes, Poilievre completely dismantled the Liberal argument by staying laser-focused on the facts. While the MP tried repeatedly to interrupt with more emotional outbursts, Poilievre methodically presented evidence showing how the Liberal approach was actually harming the very people they claimed to help. When Poilievre revealed the government's own data on their safe supply program, the atmosphere in Parliament shifted from heated debate to stunned silence. This $100 million taxpayer-funded initiative wasn't just ineffective, it created a pipeline where government drugs are traded on the street for deadlier substances like fentanyl. Is this what Liberals call compassion, spending millions to fuel the very crisis they claim to be solving? The truth about this program is absolutely shocking. While the Liberals parade their so-called compassionate approach in front of cameras, Poilievre exposed how their $100 million safe supply program has actually created a dangerous underground market. Government-supplied pharmaceutical drugs aren't staying with the addicts they're meant to help. They're being resold on the streets and traded for more dangerous substances. Think about this for a minute. Your tax dollars are being used to hand out drugs that end up getting traded for fentanyl and other deadly street drugs. This isn't just a waste of money, it's actively making the crisis worse. The Liberal MP's inability to defend this catastrophic failure speaks volumes about just how indefensible their approach truly is. Poilievre didn't just criticize, he offered a real alternative that could save thousands of lives. His plan focuses on genuine treatment and recovery programs, with the ultimate goal of helping Canadians achieve complete drug abstinence. This common-sense approach isn't about enabling addiction, it's about ending it. According to the evidence Poilievre presented, programs centered on treatment and recovery have shown 80% higher success rates than the government's current approach. The contrast couldn't be clearer. On one side, you have Liberals throwing $100 million at a program that's creating more customers for deadly drug dealers. On the other, you have Poilievre advocating for treatment centers, family reunification, and giving people their lives back. While the government maintains addiction with their safe supply, Poilievre is focused on actually helping people break free from addiction's grip. But what's truly compassionate? Giving someone more drugs or helping them reclaim their life? The answer seems obvious to everyone except those defending this failed program. The Liberals want us to believe that handing out drugs is kindness, but Poilievre exposed how it's actually creating a deadly cycle that traps more Canadians in addiction. As the dust settles on this shocking parliamentary showdown, the truth is crystal clear. While Liberal politicians hide behind baseless accusations, Pierre Poilievre stood tall with undeniable facts that expose their disastrous policies. The 2025 election presents Canadians with a decision that couldn't be more important. Will they continue supporting a government whose safe supply program has utterly failed the vulnerable, or embrace Poilievre's common sense path centered on treatment and recovery? His approach doesn't just maintain addiction, it provides real opportunities for Canadians to reclaim their lives completely. Don't let mainstream media bury this story. Share this video now and help expose the truth about Canada's addiction crisis.